Hey everybody, welcome to the Percussioner and welcome to the Composition series. Today I'm going to talk to you about bowing on the vibraphone. A recent project we did with the University of Auckland had almost every single vibraphone player asking for bowing. So I thought we should address some of the techniques and how to write for it properly. The first thing to know is the kind of bows we use. I use big bass bows. I love big bass bows, or cello bows are also possible. I've got a cello bow here. It's quite nice. It's a lot lighter. Works just fine. I also prefer, if I had the finances, to get more of these little tiny bass bows. They're much shorter than a normal bass bow. There's also a company out there that makes like teeny tiny ones that we tried. Infinibow or something like that. Incredibow. It's like carbon fiber, no horsehair used. But we did have problems getting them to work properly. We got one to work and the other one not. So yeah, we have big bows in our hand. And the reason I mentioned the size of the bows is because what I noticed in the compositions a lot was people asking me to hold a bow and a mallet in each hand. And I gotta say, it's a little bit complicated. Once you do have the bow in your hand, you're quite limited with the mallet. It becomes a bit of a fixed item. I don't have any control, even like to play. Look at this, I'm gonna have to swing this bow out and try to rotate around. Very little control when you have that. I'm not saying you can't do it, but be aware that I have no control to sort of play passages while I've got these giant wings in my hand. All right? The other thing I noticed, again, this was only wants to disappear, is asking me to have two bows in one hand. And again, it's not impossible. It's not impossible. But I'll remind you that string players take their entire lives to learn how to operate one bow. So maybe expecting a percussionist to learn how to use two bows is a bit ambitious, is the word I might use. However, it is doable, right? I found a big piece of foam. I'm going to put there in between. Again, when I say that it's possible, I want to remind everyone I'm now in quite a fixed position, all right? So the ability to manipulate this becomes quite difficult. For instance, in this left hand, yes, if I wanted to put two notes down, totally possible. Now, if I need to come around here and play on this side, I have no ability to shift unless I was switching and playing the upper register. So you see, in order for me to get over here, what I would normally be able to do is sort of manipulate the bow in one hand, but now I have two, and it's quite impossible for me. As you can see, this is super awkward. I will say that with this, I could probably get up to a third. A third was pretty comfortable. And I thought that was really clever. We could do that. The composition asked me to play two independently. So I think I was not able to do that. They wanted me to up bow, down bow, and then come back with the down bow with two notes. But, you know, and I'm not, again, not impossible, but probably not practical for a long period of time, unless it was like simply a one-time deal. Maybe I could do that. And again, I may be wrong. Maybe in the future, a kid from Wollumba is going to show us all that four-mallet vibraphone bowing is like the way of the future. But at the moment, I'm quite limited by it. The other thing I would consider when bowing is your length of notes. There are two ways to play, right? So I'll just use different bows so we can hear different ones. when I'm bowing, the length of the note can either be the length of the ring, 2, 3, 4, or it can be the length of the actual bow, right? So that's something that might not be clear for percussionists, right? I've never played a string part in my life, so I don't really know. Do you want me to do this? Remembering that keeps our dynamic quite limited. It has to stay quite consistent. What often happens if we're playing quite quickly, we might do something like this. Where I'm sort of just bowing and getting off the note and letting it ring on its own. See what I mean? So that I can be moving to the next note. Very nice. Yeah, so that's something to consider. I think you can write, if you want it to be quicker like that, you can write it with just an eighth note with a legato and maybe an LV, sort of laissez vibrer afterwards. If you like the note to take that whole thing, you can indicate that. Again, no instruction is a bad instruction when it comes to percussion writing. We all just want to accomplish what it is that the composer is after, okay? That's a pretty good definition of bowing. Again, if you have any questions, please send me an email. I'm happy to answer them or make another video. I'm happy to hear about other techniques. If you're a percussionist watching this going, oh, what about this and what about this? Please put those in the comments. Send me an email as well. Add whatever you want, because this is all about trying to share some information. Hope you're doing well. Talk to you later. See ya.